Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days. For today's video, this takes around the 25th of August, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. They run to around a couple of weeks. So it's taking us more or less to the end of August now with the week to 10 day video updates. So again, I'm back for you right now because I've got anything else to say. We're not doing any other updates today. I don't think it's been quiet today. So we're going to start off by having a look at the central England temperature. So the CET from Hadley is in updated to the 14th of August, updated to yesterday. There we are, pretty much halfway through the month now. We're standing at 17.4. An anomaly of 1.4 degrees above average. So this is coming down day by day. It's over 18 degrees a few days ago. Day by day we're shaving off a few tenths of a degree. So we are under July central England temperature, which came out at 17.5. Of course, that was confirmed. 1.4 degrees above average again. So I expect it's going to go under 17 degrees probably by the start of next week, I would have thought. They'll probably stabilise because it is actually going to get a little bit warmer, I think, through the course of next week. So probably going to come in somewhere in the 16s, I think, with the CT. Very difficult to say exactly where, but I imagine it will be somewhere between sort of 16.0 and 16.9. It'll be somewhere in that area in the 16s, I would have thought, making July probably the warmest month of the year. These are 500 millibar height anomaly flowcharts from the Penn State University. Excuse me. We've got the ECMWF here on the top. The GFS is on the bottom. We'll have a look at it in a moment. 500 millibars, 80 feet. It's an area in the atmosphere. High pressure and low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream running above. Red extrapolates to above average heights, which is high pressure. Blue extrapolates to below average heights, which is low pressure. You can see that in the week to 10 day time frame, let's say this takes us around the 25th of August, so it takes us into the final week of the month. We see that we've got an area of above average heights developing over to the west and then also extending through the country to our east. The jet stream is being moved northwards. It's going up there. And we've also got some above average heights still left up towards the pole as well. Basically, the idea is that high pressure is building in the 7 to 10 day time frame through next week. GFS is very similar. So again, there's that area of above average heights through the country and going up towards the northeast as well. Low pressure is to the south of Greenland. Jet streams being pushed northwards. But it does appear that high pressure is going to become much more influential as we go through next week and into the bank holiday weekend. It definitely appears that high pressure will become more and more influential through next week into the long weekend. So this is the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensemble graph for London. So red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. This is where we're starting off at right now. A little bit on the cool side. Temperatures will lift up a bit tomorrow as it turns wet and windy. But then after that, temperatures drop away as we go through the weekend and into early next week. It goes rather cool over the weekend and into early next week. And then beyond that, as we look ahead into the final week of August, you see we've got this warming trend. Not overly warm. There's no sign that it's going to get particularly hot. Just seeing temperatures warming up a little bit, going into sort of a very pleasant late summer temperature, probably low to mid 20s, something like that. 24, 25, 26, upper 70s Fahrenheit down in the south and southeast by the end of next week and into the bank holiday weekend. I think that's the sort of thing we are anticipating at the moment. I don't think we're anticipating it's going to get really hot, although there are a few hot outliers. These ones up here. So getting the upper air temperatures to 15 Celsius, 850 HPA. That's probably enough to get you to 30 degrees, but they are at the upper end of the range, if you like. We can't totally discount these cooler members down here either, but I think generally we just say it's going to warm up, become pleasantly warm through the course of next week, but very little sign at the moment that it's going to go very hot. Temperature anomalies, precipitation anomalies I should say, so that's tomorrow's wet weather. We're going to be heavy rain sweeping across the country from Friday through to Saturday. After that we've got a drying trend then through the weekend and into next week. It gradually turns dry, and even at the end of the ensemble graph in this period just here, we only have modest precipitation spikes. So overall, it does look as though things are going to be drying up and also warming up through the final week of the month. Temperature anomalies on the 15th to 23rd of August, very close to average. A little bit below perhaps, but not a big deviation really. Precipitation anomalies again, very close to average. We are losing the wetter than average signal that we've had over the past few days with these charts. Still a little bit wetter than average from the far west and northwest, but generally most places are going towards average. I would expect this to trend towards drier than average conditions in the next few updates in the next few days, and these charts should start trending towards warmer than average conditions as well, I would have thought, over the next few days. That's how things are looking on Sunday then. So low pressure is sitting to the north of Scotland on Sunday. We're bringing in this showery westerly wind. That's going to bring showers particularly to the north and west. Fewer showers in the south and southeast, but can't rule out that we could get some pushing through. Quite tightly packed isobar, so it will be windy there through the central swathe of the country. That's Monday. Again, it's a case of sunshine and showers, particularly so through northern parts of the country. Then through the course of next week, the high pressure gradually starts ridging in towards the south. We've got a quite nice extension from the Azores high in towards northern parts of France. That should bring drier weather into parts of England and Wales. Still unsettled further north. It's going to take a little while to start settling things down in the north. That's taking us to the end of next week. Again, high pressure gets increasingly influential, building up from the southwest, just about covering all parts of the country by the end of next week. Friday 23rd of August, we're under high pressure more or less across all areas, and then that high pressure carries on into the bank holiday weekend. Very nice ridge of high pressure takes over the weather. That's Bank Holiday Monday, which is Monday the 26th of August, under a big ridge of high pressure there at 1,025 millibars. It looks like it could be a super late summer Bank Holiday weekend, I have to say. These are really, really good looking charts. Beyond that, in towards the end of the month, while high pressure sticks around, it gradually drifts away to the east, so we start to pull up these very warm, potentially quite hot southerly to southeasterly winds. But by the end of the GFS run, which does actually get us to the final day of August today, we're beginning to break the Atlantic through. Not sure about that, really, it's a very long way off, but there is a suggestion that for a day or two during the closing days of the month it might actually turn very warm with the wind pulling up from the south or the southeast. Let's see what the upper air temperatures are doing there. That looks like it could be quite hot. So yeah, we've got 15 Celsius ice-firm through England and Wales. At the end of August, that's probably enough to get you to 30 degrees in the southeast. That's 86 Fahrenheit. Could be a little bit over top. I'm going to say by the end of the GFS run, we do turn more unsettled then as low pressure starts heading from off the Atlantic. But this final week of August is looking like a return of proper high pressure. This is the GEM, again looking unsettled over the weekend. There will be showers around and strong winds too, particularly so in the northern part of the country. Through to the early and middle part of next week, well, there's the ridge building into the south. That settles things down a little bit for the south, although the north and west stays quite unsettled. Through to the end of next week, well, again, we've got that ridge building to the south of us. Doesn't make quite as much of a ridge, though, with the GEM as the GFS does. So this is Friday the 23rd of August, just before Bank Holiday weekend, and you can see we are building that ridge just about into southern parts of the country, so down with far south, probably settling down and warming up a bit, but most parts of the country actually looking quite unsettled here to the end of next week. Into Bank Holiday weekend, that's how we look at day 10, which is Sunday the 25th of August. By then, definite signs that the high pressure is taking over. So it takes a little bit longer to get there compared to the GFS, but eventually the GM also is starting to build this ridge of high pressure in across the country through the Bank Holiday weekend. This is ECMWF, again looking rather unsettled, I have to say, over the weekend. There will be showers or longer spells of rain, especially in the north with pretty strong winds there too. Through the middle part of next week, well, there's a high pressure becoming more influential across England and Wales, still a bit on the unsettled side further north. As you head up into the bank holiday weekend, that's how we're looking. So basically, high pressure becomes more and more influential day by day, sort of on the heightened on the flow chart. By the time you get through to day 10, which is Sunday 25th of August, we have basically got high pressure in control then, so turning much drier and also turning a little bit warmer as well with the ECMWF. Let's have a look at the options that are on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. So this is the 25th of August, day 10, 240 hours away. We have 21 members of the ECM ensembles with above average heights just sitting to our west. And bringing in sort of a west-northwesterly. So that's setting things down a little bit. Could still be a bit showery up in the north. Not overly warm. The winds are in from the North Atlantic, so it's not particularly hot, but it is gradually setting things down. We've got 17 just here. These options with high pressure through the country and to our east. Jet stream is further north. That's a drier, warmer option. And then we've got 13 members of the ECM ensembles with above average heights, again building through the country and going up to the northeast. A bit more of an easterly wind with bows, but still setting things down. All options really are pointing towards high pressure becoming more and more influential as we go into the bank holiday weekend. So all roads are leading towards higher pressure for the bank holiday, really. In 2 weeks' time means that the options that we've got, this gets us to the 30th of August. We have 19 members of the ECM ensembles with above average heights through the Atlantic and ridging north. Below average heights over to the east of the country. That's a cool and unsettled option. By the end of August, we would be doing something like that with the flow with the jet stream. So that's quite a cool and unsettled option. However, we have 18 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure in control, sitting just to the north of us and bringing in easterly winds. So that's warm and dry conditions persisting through to month's end, really. And then another 14 with above average heights centred over just a little bit to the west of the country. So again, that's mainly dry, perhaps a little bit cooler, winds coming in from the North Atlantic, but essentially there's a lot of dry weather going on with that scenario as well. So there's a minority option, 19 members here, that are turning things more unsettled by month's end. However, the ECM ensembles generally are still pointing towards mostly dry conditions as we come to the end of the month. Right, we have a look at CFS V2 today. We've not been able to look at this through most of the week. So normally on a Thursday, we have a look at the Beijing Climate Centre course and rest the CFS. I tend to do that because if we do JMA Friday on a Friday where we put the CFS together with the JMA, and if something goes wrong and we don't get an update from the CFS on the Friday morning when we do JMA Friday, then I've got a fallback option to be able to use Thursday's CFS charts. So normally today I would rest the CFS, give myself that fallback option for JMA Friday, and I'll show you the Beijing Climate Centre. But of course, we haven't been able to see the CFS all week, so we've seen plenty of the Beijing Climate Centre this week. I thought we'd have a look at the CFS, therefore, today as it has finally updated. So here we go with the week 1, 500 millibar height. I mean, I just hope that it's going to update again tomorrow, so you don't have to see these again as part of JMA Friday. So this is week 1, 500 millibar height anomaly. This takes us from the 15th to the 21st of August. We have, in the coming week, we have below average heights to our north, above average heights to our south. Still rather unsettled in the week ahead. Gradually, though, we see that high pressure building up from the southwest. This is week 2, all change. Look at this, it's 22nd to the 28th of August, and high pressure is now dominating above average heights as a large area of high pressure actually sitting from Scandinavia through the north of Scotland over to Greenland, bringing in sort of an easterly type flow, so pretty warm as well with that option, or that scenario I should say. Then we go through to week 3, takes us from the 29th of August to the 4th of September. High pressure looks like it's starting to retrogress a little bit and become centred around Greenland. So retrogression, remember, is when you take high pressure from east to west, in that direction, which is untypical. Normally we take high pressure or indeed low pressure from west to east in that direction, which is the zonal flow. So when you're going against the zonal flow, it's called retrogression. It looks like there's retrogression going on there from week 2. That's the situation in week 2 to week 3, the above average heights becoming centred over Greenland. So high pressure is still sort of dominating where it was going to the opening days of September. It's centring around Greenland. There's no particular trough of low pressure, but on this sort of scenario, you have to watch out for low pressure underneath it with the jet stream. So that could be something a little bit more unsettled than it might at first appear. And then by the time we get through to week 4, this is how we're looking. This is the 5th to the 11th of September. So then high pressure is back. The northern blocking is back over Greenland. Ridge over eastern parts of Europe and into western Russia. And in between, I would have thought it's very likely we would probably have a trough of low pressure with the jet stream doing something a bit like this. So I would have thought the jet stream is likely to be going something a little bit like that. Probably a bit wrong, but I reckon the jet stream will be doing something a bit like that. And the upshot is that could actually be quite unsettled there as we're going further into September. So looks like the final week of August is going to settle and dry up and turn warmer. But how long that goes on for, I think, is a little bit uncertain. And I reckon there is a chance, actually, that early September could see things turning cooler and more unsettled. Maybe surprisingly quickly this could happen. So it might only be a short spell of high pressure, being warmer, dry conditions for the final week of September. And then early September, we could find ourselves going back to unsettled conditions once again. We shall see, and of course, hopefully, we'll have a CFS update tomorrow as part of JMA Friday. We'll see what the Japanese Meteorological Agency model has to say too. Right, that's it. It's quite a day today. Not as many videos today, so I hope you found this one interesting and informative. We'll be back tomorrow with JMA Friday. Got a week to 10-day video update tomorrow as well, and another update for the bank holiday weekend. And with that, we'll start adding a few events and festivals, that sort of thing in as well. Right, that's all for now, though, and thanks for watching.